we have the Nomadic X2 AC unit, and I'm just gonna go through the controls here. First thing, I like to set these towards the bed, so that way all the air is coming here and then hitting the doors and then blowing back on you, so that all the air stays back here. First, we press that on button, and it will go down to 61 is your lowest temperature. This button here is your fan setting, so I usually keep it at like 2 or 3. Anything over that is a little overwhelming. So I set it at 2 there. It's gonna take about a minute or 2 for the cold air to actually start kicking in. And you can see this on our consumption over here labeled under the power hub. So next, this mountain button is going to change the mode. So I like to, sometimes if I'm really trying to conserve power, I'll just do it on the fan exhaust mode. So the air will blow down on me and it won't turn on the compressor, and it will save a ton of power. We just click that mountain until you see a fan. You also will see auto, eco, and the icicle, which is the coldest. And then lastly, you're just going to click the off button, and that will turn off the unit. It takes about 30 seconds for it to finally kick off. So if there is a problem with the AC and there's like say an error code that pops up, please text me or call me or FaceTime me, and I'm happy to walk through that with you. There is a breaker in here, an A&L fused 30 amp breaker that is right above this, and we can take that out, check the fuse, and make sure it is intact. As far as the unit goes itself, it uses anywhere from, it starts out at 384 watts per hour on eco mode, and it goes all the way up to 720 watts on max output, and it's really pushing. So I'm usually seeing it's like actually at 300, even lower than that, because sometimes if you're at say 65 degrees, it's gonna turn on and then turn off and turn on and then turn off. So it's pretty efficient. It really kind of depends on what environment you're in. So next we have our MaxxAir fan, and if you have a MaxxAir fan, then you're going to have this remote right in the middle galley. And what this does is I will just click on just to wake it up, and I'll click it once more, and it automatically opens up. And the fan is meant so you can use it in the rain. So right now it's on speed 100, but I actually keep it at like 30% or so when I'm using it, and it's a lot quieter at night like with that. And you just click the small fan to decrease the speed and the large fan to increase the speed. The temperature is pretty negligible because it doesn't have any AC function to it. If you do want to switch the air direction, you're just going to click this reverse, and now it's going to have air out. It was just on air in, so it's going to stop and then now change directions, and now it's going the other direction. So another thing I like to do with this is I like to crack the window, that way we get a good breeze through here. And then when I'm done with it, I just click the off, and then that fan automatically lowers. That way you don't have to have a fan up while you're driving. I've seen a lot of people do that. It's okay if you forget it and drive with it up, but it's just best for wind resistance and less stress on the actual fan to make sure it's down. So there's actually manual buttons on it as well as the remote buttons, but I often find that if I'm in bed, I'll just use the manual, but if I'm out here, I just like to use the remote so I don't have to get up in bed. There's this black knob right here which manually opens it and closes it. So this fan runs off DC power, so make sure that your DC power is on. So to turn on our heater, we just click that center button to wake it up, and you'll see this wave right here. To the right of that is a fan, so if you want to use it during the summer, it's really nice there. But let's just go back to the heat. So we'll go back to those waves that go up. I'm going to click the OK. I click the center of this button, and then I'm going to set the temperature. So I usually like to keep it at like 60 or 58. I kind of like to sleep cold just because we're in the summer here for demonstration. I'm going to put it at 98 or so just to make sure it's going to turn on. And then you set your temperature and your time. I usually set it at 480 minutes, a good overnight time. And you can even set it at infinite too. So for sake here, I'm going to do 480 and then click OK. And then it's going to take a minute or so to kick on. And that's going to be blowing out right onto the passenger seat. It will warm this place in maybe like 5 to 10 minutes, and then it's going to be extremely efficient. If it's like -20 outside, it will keep this place so warm at really whatever temperature you desire. With fuel consumption, it uses about a gallon every 16 hours. It's incredibly efficient. You're not going to turn the van on in the morning and see a huge downtick of your fuel. It's really negligible there. At night, One thing I will do is I will kind of tuck my curtain right above this, the heater right here. That way we're still having some privacy, but also the air is now coming through here. So just making sure that you're not going to be blocking this vent right here. That way it can get a full breeze through here.